Good afternoon, everyone. Chris Berryman here, coalition builder and founder of Bringing Humanity Together. Welcome to another wonderful Wednesday edition of Conversations for Humanity here on LinkedIn, Facebook, and on our YouTube channel, because it is, of course, another great day to be alive and another gift not only to receive, but to give as well. So, everyone, I know it's the day after 4th of July. I hope everyone had a great time with their friends and family. And yes, putting all those fireworks for everyone to see, because it is what it says in our national anthem that really strikes that in and ourselves to literally have those fireworks there. Because when we do see those rockets red glare bursting in the air, it really swells up in your really of who you are as an American, can take you back to where it really all began. Because when Francis Scott Key wrote that anthem, that was in the middle of fighting for our very independence. And that just begs the question, really, in and of itself, do you truly want freedom in your life? Do you truly want to be said to everyone that I am free? I am literally a person who wants to be who they want to be, not to be controlled or not to be told what needs to be done or anything like that, but just literally be free. And that truly, I believe that comes from that place of choice. And yes, those first people who set up on that boat in that pilgrimage from England to the United States and saying that they wanted freedom, that took a bold leap of faith, and they were committed to that. And so again, to reflect on what we have gone through for over 250 years here in the United States, I truly believe it's a testament of what we can truly do for humanity in itself, to say, hey, we can be that shining beacon of a hill, so to speak, that we can be that light that shows people the way and say, hey, there's not just one way to be, but also maybe one way to lead. And some people were, like I said, really did took that leap of faith and said, you know what, I'm going to go to a place that I have something to really not only live for and strive for, but I have to do it in my own unique way. And I truly believe our independence was literally declared in those very early years, because again, why even come up with a Declaration of Independence if we wasn't declaring anything? So I'm going to ask each and every single one of you today, what are you declaring right here, right now? Are you willing to declare something not only to yourself but also to everyone else? To say that I am wanting to be free. I want people to live out the life that they want to live, and do it in a way that would be uplifting and inspiring, and literally getting more people involved from a true human connective perspective. And I truly believe once we answer that question, not only for ourselves but also with each other, I truly believe we're on a huge precipice to really uplift and inspire humanity like no other time in human history. And I truly believe Bringing Humanity Together will be on the forefront of that. So again, welcome everyone to the Bringing Humanity Together live stream. This is one of 3 open forums under the Bringing Humanity Together umbrella, where people can discuss topics related to the workplace and humanity in the workplace in a very positive and constructive way. We want to know what the issues that are out there that are facing people today, because it's our goal, our mission, our passion, our purpose of how you dare say our calling here at Bringing Humanity Together, to create environments that people would love, not only in our workplaces but also in our very communities. And we're truly seeing how that really is interconnected to each other, that the very same community that we live in, most often than not, it's the same one that we work in. And as always, we'll be going live every day of the week, Monday through Friday. We have our community calls booked in at the beginning and at the end of the week. Our community calls done on Monday via Google Meet at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. If you'd like to join us there, please let me know, and we will have you get the details very shortly. And then our other community call is on Friday via LinkedIn Audio, and we would love for you to be there too as well. And as always, we'll be going live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all at 2:45 Eastern Daylight Time, depending if we have an event. In fact, speaking of events, we have our event tomorrow, going beyond the Paycheck to Leadership edition. So we got some great news in store for you already, so we got to tell you about that. But I see we have Miss Carla here from her 4th of July festivities yesterday in the great state of Georgia. Hello there, Carla.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
Sound like you got a little riled up here. I can hear your voice now. You must have been singing yesterday.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Your voice, it seems kind of deep today.
No. I didn't do a whole lot yet. I did a whole lot, but not a whole lot of partying yesterday.
Oh, okay. All right. Very good. Very good. So what did you do on the 4th of July yesterday?
Let's see, I had a call with somebody from Ireland. Then I went out to lunch with a friend of mine. Went to my dad's and took him to the grocery store. Came home and cut up a bunch of vegetables to take to a party last night. We left about 8:30 and came home and dealt with the dog with all the fireworks.
Wow.
I think I was in bed by 11.
And Ireland is no joke. That's a ways away to be on a call to Ireland.
Well, it was a Zoom, so.
Yeah.
Hey, the world's your oyster.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
What'd you do?
Yeah, for me yesterday, I had to work at my traditional job and also do the live stream yesterday. But also, if you can believe it or not, yesterday was my niece's birthday yesterday. She was actually born on the 4th of July.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, she is only two. She's only two of our family that actually has birthday. Well, actually three. I take that back. There's three of our family members that actually has holidays on as their birthdays. One of my nieces was born on New Year's Day. Of course, cool. My other niece yesterday was born, of course, on the 4th of July. But also, my mother was born on New Year's Eve.
Oh, cool.
So isn't that a quinky dink?
Yeah.
You know, you can't forget those days because they're literally holidays. So you can't forget someone's birthday on the 4th of July, or on New Year's Day, or even on New Year's Eve.
Well, babies don't care whether it's a holiday or not.
Why, evidently not.
When it's their time to come out, it's their time to come out.
Well, yeah. In fact, my oldest niece, she was born in less than 4 hours when she was born on New Year's Day. So it was like 4 hours, bam, she was done.
Cool. Was that the first one or the second one?
Yeah, the second one, it was a little bit longer for her. My other niece, she
it's usually
was,
the other way around.
I want to say, because they're from two different mothers, because my sister had one and my other sister had the other. Amanda, who was born yesterday, like I said, yesterday was her birthday. It took her over 15 hours to be born.
Oh, wow.
So that's a lot of time.
It is.
And sometimes an epidural sometimes doesn't help either.
Yeah. When I worked in reproductive endocrinology, there were parents that would say, "Oh, I want to have my child on my birthday." I said, "No, you don't." "Oh, yeah, that would be cute." I said, "Yeah, for the first few years, and after that, you never have your own birthday. You'll be doing kids' parties on your birthday." And they went, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. So, yeah, that's just kind of mind-boggling. Really think about it. That when you have to go through all that stuff with, getting an epidural, and there's just some other things that they'll use too as well for women who have to go through all that. But for us as men, I'm still, for the life of me, can't imagine all the stuff that you have to go through to be able to get a baby to be born, and everything like that. And my older sister, she had an epidural in her last 3 kids that she had. But the middle 2 that she had no drugs, no nothing, in, out, done. But that last one was a tough one because it was one of my nephews, and he ended up with that one. It took her to have him almost 18 hours with him.
Mm. So what'd you do for the 4th of July? Did you go see fireworks?
No, I went to go to see my niece and everything like that. So I spent some time with her on that, and then came back, and I basically went to bed, and then it was getting up early and that kind of thing. So, and that's what we did on yesterday, because like I said, I got off work around almost 1:30 yesterday, so it was kind of late for me because yesterday was still somewhat slow, but people were out and about, because I could tell, because we have a what's called an HTO, which that's where you can get your tea and water and all that kind of stuff. So for the past 2 days, people were buying tea and water like left and right. So people were buying a lot of stuff yesterday because they were going to cookout or going on the water or whatever the case may be and everything. So that's what I was seeing yesterday. But for us, not a lot going on. So
how's your weather down there?
Hot is a freaking, you know what?
Yeah.
110 degree heat index so far. It's been for the past like 4 days.
That's good golfing weather.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like been one hot summer, that's for sure.
Did you get any rain?
All right. I gotta get a link to somebody because people don't know how to look when there's a link in a comment. So why that is, I don't know why people.
I think they look for the LinkedIn link and they don't look for the StreamYard link.
Well, see, the thing about it is when I post our live streams, I post not only the post, but I post the link within the comment section of that post. And people don't know how to they don't know how to check it out for some odd rhyme or reason. I don't know. I can only do so much.
Well, we're also used to having everything at our fingertips. You know, we've had people want me to send them information, and I said I sent it to you 2 days ago in a post and a text, and you know, there's, well, can you send it to me again? Yeah, sure. You know.
Yeah.
So I just copy it and pasted, and.
But you missed yesterday's call, though, Carla. It was good. What we talked about yesterday is there any really pursuit of perfection, and can we actually see the beauty of our imperfections, and can we actually be connected by conflict and everything like that? So
it was a great, by what?
Connecting by conflict, using conflict as a way to connect.
Well, we're all imperfect beings, so that answers that question. And
yep.
You know, you can be in conflict or disagree with somebody and still get along. Yep. Or you can choose not to.
So, but yeah, Sven was actually on the call yesterday, and of course Brenda Lee's was too as well. And
What did Brenda Lee's have to say about it?
Oh, she was bringing it
She
yesterday.
was just reflecting right
She
and left.
was bringing it. Oh my
She was
gosh.
doing the head tilt right and left.
That she was. And Crystal, I see that you are here. Please join the call. We would love to hear from you. I don't know what's going on with an echo or whatever, but it is one of those kind of things. No
It's gone
worries.
now.
Please. I don't know. For the past 3 live streams, people have been saying that they've been hearing echoes on my end. Why? I don't know. But it is what it is. I see we have Miranda here. Hello, Miranda.
Hey, Miranda.
Hello, Chris. Hello, Carla. How are you doing today?
Well, good. How about you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. It's good.
Sun
Thank
came up
you.
in your world.
Today here the weather is very strange. Again, it started to rain, and like it's all white. Even if it's night, it seems like foggy. It's weird. I don't know what's happening, but yeah, we had some sunny days, but now I don't know. It just turned into rain again, but that's okay. We won't be affected by that. We
We're
will
good.
try not to, at least.
We're good. Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
How you doing, everybody?
How are you doing?
Good. Now that I'm finally on here.
Yeah? Do you have
Yeah.
problems connecting?
Yeah. Anytime that I looked in the comments, it was just giving me yesterday's StreamYard. It wasn't giving me today's, so that's why I couldn't get on.
Oh,
So,
you know, I saw the share and care in the comments, and then I hit the more button, and it gave me all the connections. So who knows? Who knows? We're glad you're here.
Yep.
What'd you do for the 4th of July?
We actually didn't do a whole lot. At least not when we originally attended. We just had a dinner, a steak dinner. It was actually just my son and my dad, and my mom was over at my sister's. Her youngest son, he was born with a cleft palate and everything, and he was supposed to go into surgery yesterday to get his tonsils removed and his tubes put back in. And after doing all the different tests and stuff, they decided to postpone it because he started puking and stuff like that. So, meanwhile, Beth ended up getting sick as well, and we think it might be due to all the stress involved and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, my mom decided to go over and help her out the rest of the day, and
Is
she
your mom
was
sick now?
No, luckily, today is her birthday, so knock on wood. Hopefully, she's still feeling okay. As
Knock
far
on
as
wood,
I know,
won't
she
get
is.
it. Sounds like a virus.
It sounded like it, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They were
Beth
going to do surgery on July 4th, or was it today that they were going to do it?
It's a good question. I actually think it was yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, because they were going to go through all the tests and everything, and he has been on a waiting list for a long time.
Oh, wow.
So, they had moved him up to the top, and he's still at the top. It's just a postponement for right now. They said that once he gets better, which may end up being, say, a week from now or so, they'll do some more tests and see if he's able to. But the anesthesiologist is the one that called it off.
Oh, well, yeah. You can't anesthetize a child that's throwing up.
Right.
How old is he?
I'm thinking oh man, what is he? He's grown so fast I can't even keep track. I'm thinking 3 or 4 years old, something like that.
Oh, okay. So he's a toddler, yeah.
Maybe 5. I don't know. But yeah, he's been through several surgeries already,
Oh,
and he's done very, very well. He's a tough kid. Um, so yeah, just keep them in your prayers, and hopefully they'll be able to bounce back from this, and he'll be able to get done what he needs done as
Yeah.
well. Once he gets those tonsils out, I think that'll also help him with dealing with a lot of
Definitely. It'll help
sicknesses.
with the ear infections and everything else.
Yeah,
They're all
exactly.
connected. Yeah.
Mhm.
Poor
Yep.
thing. I hate to see
Yeah.
kids.
So the only other thing that Alex and I did, we just went to the New Berlin fireworks on our own.
Hmm.
So my dad stayed home. So, but it was good.
Yeah. We went over to my stepdaughter's house and they had some friends over and we stayed for a little while because Jim worked yesterday and he was tired. But I don't like people that do. It's not the people; it's the event of people doing fireworks that are not controlled. You know, they
Yeah.
make me really nervous, and so I wasn't really keen about hanging around for that. And plus, my beagle hates fireworks, and we
Mm.
got home and the people in the neighborhood had started shooting them off at 8:30, and we're greeted at the back door by my dog just trembling, and I
Mm.
tried to give him a CBD chew and he was like, I ain't having that. He just parked behind the couch for the rest of the evening. And so,
Mm. Yeah, one of our dogs is definitely scared of any loud noises, whether it be gunshots or fireworks or thunder or anything
yeah.
like that, which is weird because she's supposed to be a gun dog.
Well,
But
Beagle's
that's
hunt,
just the way it is.
so
Mm.
he hates if he hears a gunshot off in the distance. We've had rain the past 3 days with thunderstorms, and so he's poor thing, you know.
Mm.
And the fireworks every evening, so it's been kind of crazy.
Yep.
So, Brian, are you ready to probably share your story with us today?
I'm gonna give her a shot.
All right, very good. We have Crystal here with us today. Hello, Crystal. How you doing?
Out of Mountain Dew. Okay.
There you go. There you go. All right, Brian, since you're here with us today, it is your show today. Please come share your story with us here on Conversation for Humanity, and the floor is yours.
Okay. Well, I just want to let you know that I am gonna have to probably run a little after like 3:30 or so because I got to pick up Alex. But I'm gonna try to get this done as quickly as I can. In the meantime, where to start? Well, I would say I have had quite the roller coaster life, and from the very beginning, I was born, and when I was born, my ears stuck out considerably more than they're supposed to. And at 5 years old, I had to have surgery to not only have tubes put in, but they corrected them as well. But I always had the scars on the back of my ears for probably going on, I'd say, a good 10, 12 years after that until they finally disappeared. And of course, when I was in school, I always had kids just bullying me the whole time because of that. And I am the kind of person that internalizes a lot emotionally, and I felt miserable. I would cower away, and um, I would try to ignore it. I would try to walk away. I would try to get as far away from it as I could because I just didn't like it, and I didn't know who to go to get help or anything like that. And frankly, it just hurt, and I didn't want to be around it at all. And one day I was out on the playground, and I was, let's see, I was probably, I was in second grade. That's right. I was in second grade. There was a third grader and his friend that were bullying me that day, and it was basically they were calling me Dumbo and all that kind of stuff. And I finally got so freaking mad that I grabbed him by the shirt, and believe me, I was a small kid, and this guy towered over me, so he looked like the Hulk compared to me. And but I grabbed his shirt and I gave him the hardest uppercut that I absolutely could. And then I felt so bad since I had hit him that I actually started crying myself. And but he had the wind knocked out of him. And right then his buddy's like, "Oh my god, this guy is super tough. We're never gonna be making fun of him again," and stuff like that. And they both ran off, and for the life of me, after that, I never really even saw them again. They avoided me for the rest of the time. So I'm not saying that that was probably the best thing that I could have done then, but it is something that did work. Um, but it's not something that I really, what do I want to say? That that I would recommend anyway. And when I got older and I got a job and stuff like that, a lot of times I would just take like the lowest jobs available, just entry level, and I was fine with that, and whether it was uh, hard labor or cashiering or restaurant work or whatever. I just did it. I didn't want to be a manager or anything. I didn't want that responsibility at that time. Even though one time, one of the managers in the grocery store did come to me and said, "Hey, I think." Well, first of all, he says, "I'm impressed with your work, and I think that you'd make a good team leader and stuff." And but I refused the promotion at the time, because I at that time I didn't really feel that I had leadership abilities within me. But lo and behold, um, quite a while of doing labor intensive work, finally I decided, you know what, I got to do something different. And I started going into sales and stuff like that. So I did a number of sales jobs, and some of them I was very good at, and some of them it took me a while and I struggled with, and I didn't have really good results at all. But each one of these was like a stepping stone, and each one was a learning lesson for me. Even though at that time I may not have looked at it that way, but at any rate, I mean, I was having good days and bad days, and it was just like I said, a roller coaster and stuff. But I was mainly swinging at the hip most of the time, and just going with the flow and stuff like that. And then when things wouldn't go my way, I'm the kind of guy that, you know what, I take so much, and like I said, I internalize everything. So I would just let that steam build until it was like a teapot that exploded and stuff. And sometimes it was pretty detrimental to my life, and it had some pretty lasting effects because of that. Um, but I was stubborn. I was born into an Italian and a German family, so I was very stubborn. And even though I was raised as a Christian all my life, and I knew what to do right and all that kind of stuff, I didn't really start to pursue my Christian faith until I was in my early 20s. And that's when I really got serious with it. But it was only a stint for probably about 2.5 years or so. And then I dropped off the ball again and started doing my own thing. And then I ended up getting a girlfriend, and we hit it off pretty well. But we did struggle a lot financially and spiritually, and also several other ways as well. And a lot of it was communication wise. And some of it was just being young at the time and just not knowing any better and stuff like that. We ended up getting married after 6 years. Although we had been trying to get married for 3 years prior to that. It was just through turn of events in life, dealing with different stresses and stuff like that. We thought we were ready to get married at the time, and then we had to postpone it and stuff like that, and it kept on doing that for like 3 years because of the way our relationship was and stuff. And eventually when we did get married, the first 2 years were great. We felt like we were on cloud nine. It was just wonderful, and we felt we were perfect for each other. And then all of a sudden life just took a dive again, and it was like a big slap in the face. And we started dealing with some major depression as well. And I was taking on 2 jobs at the time. She was at home, and plus we had our son at the time. And it was just a real stressful time. Even though I was very blessed with my son Alex, it was just really stressful, and it was just hard to deal with everything because we were trying to do it all on our own. And even though we were semi-spiritual about it, I don't think we both had a real deep relationship with Christ at the time. And that really affected everything big time until it basically just fell apart. And the other thing I would say is I think that we got married for the wrong reasons. And I won't get into that right now, but at any rate, so the bond of our marriage wasn't really tight, and I think we just had the wrong expectations of each other as well. And so that was a huge learning lesson in itself. Because there was days where I would come home and I was always expecting her to be like almost right at the door, just waiting for me, or at least say hi to acknowledge me and stuff, and how was your day and stuff like that. But a lot of times she was engrossed in her work still, and sometimes that just didn't happen. Or she was with Alex, which I understood that, taking care of him and stuff like that. And then there was days where I would come home and I was so tired from working my 2 jobs that I would come home and I would just collapse on the floor, and I would have Alex in my arms. I was supposed to be watching him and taking care of him and all that kind of stuff, and then I would just be passed out on the floor because I couldn't stay awake long enough. So that was a major stress as well. And then what happened there was a lot of actually Mandy, my ex-wife, she would come to me and just constantly nag, and it was just all kinds of stuff that she would be picking on all the time, and whether it be more responsibilities that she wanted me to take care of, or maybe something I did wrong with Alex, or you name it, she would find it and stuff like that. I mean, there was one time where I was actually feeding Alex, and he was literally in my arms, and I had the bottle and everything. And then she comes in behind me and she says, "When are you going to clean those dishes? I told you to clean those dishes 2 days ago," or whatever, you know. And I was like, "Well, I'm feeding Alex right now. Can they wait until after I'm done, you know?" And so it was just one stress after another. And eventually, um, I did some things that I probably shouldn't have, and it backfired on me. And again, I don't want to get into any of that right now, but um, we decided to break up. We didn't divorce right away. We actually um, just separated and stuff. And but we were trying to solve things um, with each other, just to try to make amends, you know. But the day that she told me, "Well, we're just gonna try to deal with things together on this," she went out to talk to her friends about it. And then the next thing I know, when I come home from work, "Hey, this is what we're gonna do." And then she decided to go through domestics. So I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" And I didn't feel like I had a say in it because she already made her decision, you know. And so I was just completely just I felt like my heart was ripped out, and like she didn't trust me at all. And um but like I said, I didn't feel like I had any say in it either. And so that's just the way it was, and I just had to accept it and stuff. So I went through a major depression, especially like right after we broke up, and I had suicidal thoughts. I was very vengeful, very pissed off. I was so pissed off and so broke up that I decided, you know what, I can't even concentrate on my work. So I left my jobs. I walked out, didn't even tell anybody. And I just did the one thing that I knew to do that would give me some sense of peace. And that was just going out and enjoying one of my hobbies, which is hunting. And I just disappeared for a whole month. And anyway, um, eventually the Lord got a hold of me. Although, like I said, I was very stubborn. And but anyway, he got a hold of me, and just recently I've really recommitted everything, and I surrendered it all to him. And that's when things really started to change and everything. And he had given me a calling on my life 2 years ago. Um, and at that time, it was simply just to create a space or a community where people can gather together, whether it be using like an interactive website where we can share our testimonies together and help each other overcome our greatest adversities and stuff. But at that time, I was running my own business, and I was very successful at that. And life just um, took me in another direction, and I didn't pursue it at the time. So um, I at that time um, I was in business for 6 years. The last 2 years, well, the fifth and sixth year, we were having great times. I mean, we were breaking records and stuff like that, and we were actually poised to scale the business, and I wanted to grow it exponentially into a nationwide empire. And unfortunately, the following year, my business fell apart, and it's from a number of reasons, but some of those were my own, and some of those it was because I listened to some other people, like my employees and stuff, and it was probably one of the worst decisions I made. But anyway, um, I ended up losing everything, and that's when, um, shortly after that, um, that's when the Lord grabbed a hold of me and said, "Hey, enough is enough. When are you gonna come back to me and do what I called you to do?" And then I gave it to him, and the rest is history. And now I started a new mission. It's called Graceful Triumphs Global Enterprises LLC. I've been doing this for a little over a month now, and I got at least I'm going to say roughly about 100 people that are looking to join up with me, and they're supporting me and stuff like that. And it's it's been a blessing ever since I started this. It just feels like ever since then everything's been aligning properly, and that's pretty much when I also met you guys as well. And I just love the conversations here too. And I feel that every day it solidifies what I'm doing more and more. And I really feel that the Lord is going to make a tremendous difference in my mission. And what we do in the mission is not only are we helping each other um, overcome our greatest adversities while also discovering our life's purposes through sharing our testimonies, but we're also taking it one step further by um, using abundance principles and also entrepreneurship as well. So everybody then, or maybe not everybody, but anybody who wants to, that joins up with the community and wants to pursue building a business and making a lasting impact on the world, not only will they be building the business, but we're also going to help them build each one into a global enterprise, and that'll foster more abundance and giving back to our communities, and also um, society in more ways than we could do on our own. And the way we're going to do that is, as each business goes public, then we are each going to have or share ownership in each of the businesses. And so that'll foster more abundance so that we can give back to our communities and the rest of society, and make a lasting impact. And the other reason why I started this is because I feel that everybody has a story to share. And I believe everybody's story does resonate, and it is important. And on the flip side of that as well, I believe that um, there's somebody on the other end that's desperately waiting for us to share it as well. And so hopefully this resonates with you all. I would love to have you guys on board. If not, that's fine. I totally understand. But I will say this, that not only do you have a story to share, but you also have a purpose and a calling for your life. Um, regardless whether you realize it or not. So my hope and prayer is that you'd be able to have that materialize and become reality so that you can do what the Lord has called you and created you to do. All right. I think that about covers everything. So I have a little bit of time left, so we can open it up for questions if you like.
Well, Brian, that was such an amazing share, and I loved it. And to be honest with you, me and you have a lot in common in how we built out what we wanted to do with our lives. And the question then becomes, Brian, at least for me, and I'll let everyone else also ask you some questions too as well, is maybe did you look at life happening for you or did you look at life happening to you?
Well, back in the past, I felt like it was always happening to me, and I used to always have a um, negative thoughts, and I let it control me, and that's basically because I mean, not only was I taught that throughout my life, but that's one thing that my dad has always done too. He's constantly negative about things and stuff, and part of it was the reason because, again, like I said, I didn't know who to go to or what to do about it or anything like that. Excuse me. And like I said, I just kept it all inside until I had to let it loose. So it wasn't until just recently that now, excuse me, I need some water. Ah. Mm. Now I'm having some conflict. But anyway, it wasn't until recently that I started looking at life as happening for me.
I'll go to you, Miss Carla. What's been on your mind when you've been hearing Brian's story today?
Well, there's a lot of similarities in what Brian went through in his younger days as to what I went through in my younger days. And you can't kick your younger self for not knowing what your older self knows now, you know. And when we were growing up, we didn't have self-help books. We didn't have personal development books, anything like that. We just kind of rolled along with what we grew up with. And a lot of times we took issues that were in our family and took them into our marriages. And we actually married people that had the same issues that our families had. And, you know, when you're young and you get married and you throw kids into the mix and it's frustrating and there's no couple time and just a whole snowball of things, I'm sure that I probably said things that I shouldn't have said years ago. I believe that things happen for you for a reason. I went through a divorce in 97. It took me 2 years to get divorced and it was hell. And I raised 2 kids by myself, and because he was in another country, and that's not to pat myself on the back or anything, but because there were moments that it sucked, and there were moments after high school and college and that different parts of life that just really suck. I think that it's not until recently that I actually really gave some serious thought about, does life happen for me or to me? And I was just like you, Brian, years ago, thinking that life happens to me. Why are all these things happening to me? As opposed to thinking, why are things working for me? And I talked to a friend about forgiveness, and I think I've talked about this before, that she says, I can't believe you can forgive your ex-husband for being unfaithful. And I said, well, it happens. I can't do anything about it. He was the one that said he didn't want to be in the marriage anymore. And then I find out 3 years later what had been happening, behind my back. And, you know, when I look at it at a different angle, yeah, at the time I was thinking that it was happening to me and I was the victim and I hated it and I had a lot of anger and stuff. Um, but then throughout, as I got stronger and stronger throughout the years, the message was, if you were back in that relationship, you wouldn't be doing X, Y, and Z now. You wouldn't have the personal development and the strength that you have now to raise two kids and deal with all of their issues or whatever. I would not be the person I am today had that not happened to me. So that's where I started putting it together that life happens for you, not to you. Things happen for a reason. We may not understand right then and there what the reason is, but it will become clearer to you. And that's all part of your own personal development.
Thank you so much, Carla. Miranda, what did you get from Brian's story today? What was the big takeaways for you?
First off, I want to thank Brian for sharing his story. And every time we hear a story, we find ourselves in those stories because, in one way or another, things happened as God said. We were meant to go through some challenges, and the most important thing is to never give up and to move on. And I think it all starts from parents' projections. I agree to that because if you're raised in a sort of having one parent or both with negativity, and somehow you accept it as a reality, and that triggers then to go to make some decisions like marry someone maybe with a similar, let's say, model, which after a while it turns out that it's not the best decision. I had the same situation. I've been divorced because of that, and I fully recovered. It wasn't easy, but yes, you move on. And what is important, I think, during these times, turbulent times, is to understand that as you go through, you have to work on yourself. You have to take care of yourself because with this negativity, you don't have boundaries, and somehow you just go on and just live like that. But it's important to set boundaries, to be assertive, of course, to help other people. But first, you need to help yourself. And once you realize that you are the most important person before helping others, because of bringing more better results, then that's the key. And sometimes that's not easy because as Brian mentioned several stories, like when life throws us under the bus and it seems like you cannot breathe and it seems like that there is no way out, but then there is always a way out. And here we are today talking and bringing humanity together and sharing our stories. And yes, for me, it resonates that Brian didn't give up, that none of us didn't give up, and that's what should we do. We should move forward no matter what. Back to you, Chris.
Thank you so much, Miranda. I really love that too as well. James, what say you? What's your big takeaways from Brian's story today?
Well, it's like that saying goes: you gotta take the bull by the horn and swing him a country mile. You know? Yeah, and I agree, Brian. Certain situations manifest in their divine element for a reason. We might not agree to the situation, we might not agree to the circumstance, we might not agree to what's happening. But at the end of the day, it happens for a reason. It's not like you can just say, okay, well, I'm going to choose to do this. I'm going to choose to do that. I'm going to choose to have this happen to me. I'm going to choose to have that happen to me. That's not the way it works. And I agree 100% with Carla. Life happens for us, and I agree 100% with you too, Chris. Life happens for us and not to us. You know, we have a structured element within the forces, if you will, and our ability to either accept it or push it away is on us. But you know, it also becomes, how bad do you want the future that you say you want to create? How bad do you want it? So that's what I got from it.
Thank you so much, James. And see, for me, like Carla said, there was a lot of similarities to Brian's story and to hers. And I have to say, from my perspective, there is a lot of similarities there too. I was divorced as well, had to go through an ex-wife and all that, so I've been there. But it's how we show up to it that matters. Because if we are not willing to show up at all, then not only are we going to ask and answer that very question I truly believe is the better question to ask, is what are we going to do, what do we do, what do we do, what do we do? We always ask that every single time we're connecting with people. We always ask that. It's like, what do you do? Or think about when you're in an impossible situation. You ask, well, what am I going to do? But I truly believe the better question to ask is, who are you? And then once you really understand that and you allow others to see that as well and answer that maybe with you, maybe you become more clearer in not only what you do, but that will get you to a place of knowing really who you are. Because when you really know that, you can take it really a step into a much larger world, just like Carla has said and I have said many times. That you can have life happen for you in a way that's going to show you so many opportunities, so many things that's really going to really light up your life to a certain extent, create more knowledge for you and give you that knowledge, maybe even share that knowledge with others. And I've said this many times on our broadcasts, that the very act of giving is in the very act of receiving. And when we allow not only those stories to be shared and to be heard, but when we really take the time to really know people for who they really are, not what we think they are, what we perceive them to be, but actually who they are, then that will put us in a better place in space with them and they with us in a way that we can really truly be connected to one another, truly start collaborating with one another, and then being in a community with one another in a way that might even create an environment not only of the ones that we love, but maybe they might turn into the life that they love and what we love if we allow that to occur. And I truly believe it all stems from just showing up. Because if you're not willing to show up to life, then you're going to end up having to say, hey, I can't fault anyone else but myself because I didn't show up to it. There's no one else to blame, no one else to point the finger at, because if I don't show up, it's me who made that choice. And I truly believe choice is the ultimate path to freedom. And when we allow that choice in our lives, I will say it again, it will open us up into a much larger space and world than we can't even possibly imagine right here, right now. So it really begs the question there, Brian, and I'm going to ask this of you. Do you believe it's probably time for humanity to say yes to life?
Yes, I definitely believe so. I believe that. I'm sorry, I'm getting some feedback here, and bear with me because we're on the move now, and I might end up losing you. But anyway, yeah, I believe that we've definitely waited too long, and it definitely needs to happen.
I agree with that, Brian, 100%. So I gotta ask you, Miranda, is showing up literally maybe the most important thing that we can do, not only in our lives, or even when we are working with people? I mean, just showing up, is that enough?
Yes, it might seem like a small step, but that is a very big step, because showing up sometimes is difficult because of our negative emotions, insecurity, self doubt of how we feel about ourselves, that we're not good enough. And then we just don't show up and we give up without showing up. So, the first and foremost step is to show up, and regardless of how you feel, just be there, because you never know what kind of opportunity life offers you. And sometimes we project in our head that cooperating with a certain industry, person, company, like it's not going to happen, and it's in our mind. But once we go there, we see that it's different. So why just not showing up and take it from there, and then you decide what to do. Back to you, Chris.
Thank you so much, Miranda. I like I said, I just surely believe that showing up is a big thing. So, Carla, when you create the life that you love, how would you create it in your own unique way? How does that has that shown up for you when you've created, or you said on this program many times about designing your life? How have you done that in creating and designing your life? And you're on mute.
Sorry, I'm going to go back to the first question and say, showing up is taking care of yourself and doing personal development, as opposed to just sitting idle and putting your hands over your head and have life throw things at you. You have to take control of your life. Which leads me into your question. You have to reach a point where you say, is this all there is in life? Why is my marriage not working? Why is life not working? Why am I unhappy with my job? And instead of people going, well, everybody's unhappy, just suck it up and deal with it. You have to allow yourself to say, I want more. I deserve more in my life. I am going to allow myself to go there and say, what is it that I want out of life? And there's so many people that are laid off these days that are sitting around waiting for that ultimate be all to end all job to drop in their lap, but they have no clue what it is. They don't know what they want. They'll take just about anything because they're so like freaked out that they can't, they got to eat, they got to have money, all this other kind of stuff. They're taking everything, as opposed to saying, is what is happening to me right now? Is it happening for me? Is it causing me to take a pause in my life and say, it's okay to say, what in the hell do I want out of my life? It's okay to say, what do you want the next 30, 40, 50 years to look like? It's okay to say, I'm sick and tired of hating Mondays. It's okay to say, self, what do you want out of life? What do you want your life to look like? What do you like if you could retire your spouse to where they're not dragging home tired every day, to where you're going, gee, I would have loved to have taken her out to dinner, but she's so doggone tired, she's falling asleep on the couch. It was Brian falling asleep on the floor playing with the kids. It was that snowball effect to that Your job affects who you are. The job affects who you're, what's going on in your marriage that's affecting your life, that's affecting everything that you do, that everything is causing unhappiness in your life. And it's okay to stop and say, I need better in my life. This is not something I really want to just suck up and do. I need to make a change. And what is that change going to look like? And it's so funny that we're having this conversation, because some good friends of mine that got me into my business, mainly just to change my health, which led to my business, was they taught me how to play stupid idea time. And I know that we've talked about this before, and saying, what else could I do that would bring us happiness and joy, not only for me as an individual, but for us as a couple, and throw it out there. Nothing is off limits. It could be something of, hey, I want to open up a dog park. I want to buy a plot of land and open up a dog park, or I want to open up a cafe where dogs are welcome, that kind of thing. Just anything, everything. When you ask people these days, well, what do you like to do outside of work? They tell you, I know nothing but work. When you start exploring those things outside of work, that's where the creativity starts to flow, and you start to say, I want to find enjoyment in life, not just my work. If you're lucky enough to love your work and get you up out of bed every single day, you're very lucky, because I'd say that over 70% of people are not like that. So you have to take that time to play the stupid idea time and put it out there and figure out what you can do that can give you enjoyment in life. I was just catching up with somebody on Messenger, on Facebook Messenger, and she was showing a picture of an 11-day countdown to a move that they were going to make. And this view was like a pool, and you look out from the pool and you see all this greenery and mountains, and I'm going, where in the heck are you going? And she said she has a remote job that's given her literally the opportunity to work from anywhere, and they're up and moving to Portugal. Now, your decision does not have to be that drastic. It could be something as simple as doing something else. You don't have to move half the world away, but you have to realize you have to open up your mind to other things in life. I was 55 and I was like, I got 30 more summers if I'm lucky. Less than that if I'm going to die at the statistical average for women. And I'm like, I don't know if I could hold out working the same job till I was 70 like I originally thought I could. And then I started looking at other things, because I knew that I couldn't survive on my Social Security alone. I had investments, but you know how the market is. The market could crash tomorrow, and that could be gone. I needed other streams of income. Well, I loved health and wellness. I loved how I felt. I couldn't shut up about it. And so that's what I made a business out of. What was my plan B became my plan A when I had that push and got laid off. And Brian talks about finally listening. When I've told this story before, when I walked away from that job, knowing I did absolutely nothing wrong that I was being accused of, when I walked out that door, for the first time in my life, I was never afraid of the finances. And, oh my God, I don't have a job. How am I going to pay the bills? I'm the primary breadwinner of our family. I earn more than my husband does. God told me, tomorrow you wanted to grow your business. Here we go. Tomorrow we're gonna do it. And I haven't looked back. And when I've had times that I've gone, well, maybe I ought to look for something else, God's going, what the hell are you doing? Getting over here. You got this. And I finally listened in life. So if that's encouragement to anybody else, you got to listen to those nudges. that come your way. You got to focus on your health because I don't care what you want to do if you don't have your health physically and emotionally, you're anything you create is not going to be what you want it to be. And it's going to mean nothing. You can make $1,000,000, turn around and have cancer tomorrow. You got to take care of yourself.
Well said. And if there's any call to action that I've ever heard, Carla, you just did it right there. You just did it right there. That was a home run. I love that. So let's go to Miranda, and I want to get her final thoughts on her call to action today. Miranda, over to you. Miranda, are you there?
She might have stepped away.
Oh, maybe she did. All right, no
What
worries.
else do people?
Maybe not. All right, no worries. Well, like I said, I just really love today's call, and it really was truly exciting to hear Ryan's story. And please, everyone, watch the replay. Please watch the replay. He had a lot of gold and a lot of great nuggets of insight in everything. So please do that. And Miranda's back. Hello, Miranda. We're glad you're back. What's your final thoughts and your call to action today, ma'am?
Yes, I'm sorry. I have some internet connection due to the weather. Yes, it was very interesting event, and as I always mention, we always um, how should I say it, learn from other experiences, from other people's stories, and I'm glad that Brian shares his story. And I want to say to Carla that I totally agree on everything that she says, on the sense that you have to find yourself. And when seeking a job, it's not just finding, oh, I want to find a job. No, like without thinking at first what you want to do. That's important. And actually, this is what I'm doing right now. I'm a career coach for the job seekers, and they are incredibly, one person can do 10 or 15 other professions that are related to their personality. And it's not that we are designed to do only one thing. We can do many things, and we have to find the one that the one that fills our heart, let's say, with joy and and makes us happy. So yes, you can be happy and you can work and you can earn money. The sooner we understand it, the sooner we will be on the right track. And of course, then we won't have also health issues. We won't be negative. We won't have negative emotions, and so on. And I agree with you, Chris. Life happens like not to us. Life is, we own our life, and there are a series of events, but we have to always evaluate, and always to see it with a different perspective rather than with negativity. And the most important thing, to never give up, but to move forward in different shapes. And sometimes we are weaker, but then we can become stronger, and then we can serve our purpose. Thanks. Back to you.
And I truly believe that, Miranda, once we really truly say yes to life, and we
Yeah,
truly say yes that I
but
will
without
not,
doubt.
yeah,
Just
that,
yes.
yeah, when we truly say yes that will not be held back by anyone or anything, then when we have that coup de grace moment in our lives, or that aha moment, and really say, hey, this is something that's going to be truly amazing because I'm willing to take a step into a much larger world. Yes, sometimes becoming uncomfortable can turn into our comfort zone because then we choose it to be. Because think about it, if we never become uncomfortable in our lives, or we never become afraid of something, or if we never know failure, we won't see the other side of that. Because think about it. Without success, there's no failure. Without failure, there's no success. But if we take that as a balance in and of itself, I truly believe that will get us to where we want to go and see that balance. And we can say that to ourselves and to others, that we say yes to that. So here's my call to action, everyone, today. Say yes to life. Say yes to learning more. Say yes of being more. Don't let no one or no thing keep you from not only your dreams, but building those field of dreams. Because, like the movie says, if you build it, they will come. And yes, they will come. It's not a matter of if, it's only a matter of when. And I've said this many times on our broadcast, and I'll say it again. When hope and faith come knock on your door, are you willing to answer that call? Who is here today and tonight, or whatever time it is for you right now watching this broadcast? Are you willing to answer that call? So I love this great and engaging conversation. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Carla. Thank you, Miranda. Thank you, Crystal. And thank you, James. And, of course, Nancy and everyone watching today. Thank you for taking time out of your day to be with us here today. But again, it's going to be another event time tomorrow. Bringing Humanity Together. This next event will be Going Beyond a Paycheck, Part 2, the Leadership Edition. So please come join us tomorrow at 3 p.m. via Google Meet if you'd like to find out how. Just put a comment in the comment section, whether you're on LinkedIn, Facebook, or on YouTube. Send me a message saying I'd like to find out the details of tomorrow's event. I'll get the details sent to you straight away. And just want to let you all know, we have over 60 people signed up already. I think that's the biggest yet that we've had for any one event. So it's going to be a mind-blowing event if you have 60 people in the room. So that's something. That's saying something. So again, from all of us here at Bring Humanity Together, have a great day, make your day, and we'll see each other tomorrow on Going Beyond the Paycheck, Part 2, the Leadership Edition. Have a great day, everyone.